like the refinement and simplicity and the restraint in that tasting menu, like just I got it too. Like it wasn't. I'd been cooking enough, and when you have all this, you take those big jobs and you're over your head managing 20 people, and you're like 23, and you just grow up, and you
real quick.
You learn to read shit. Like at that point in your career, you can go into the kitchen and just learn it, And I just sucked it in, and he gave me so much freedom. He gave me the lunch menu. He gave me the breakfast menu that they'd never changed. And then he had me super involved with the dinner menu and the tasting menu. And it was just, he's so collaborative. It was very important. Bruno didn't do administrative shit. He didn't want to manage people. He wanted to fucking cook. So I did it all, and I was good at it. But it was very important for him that I cooked, and that I was involved in the creative process with him, and not just like the banquet menu or something. It was like, no, dinner, the tasting menu, and it's just the best, dude. He's so good. And I did that for 2 years, and I was like, I got to find my own thing, and I was like, now it's going to be a restaurant. And I got hit up by a recruiter who talking 2 years ago about this restaurant, the American restaurant here in Kansas City, and I was like, Kansas City? Mm-hmm. Like I was thinking like New York or San Francisco or LA. He's like, there's been 3 James Beard winners. It was like Bradley Ogden's first chef job. Puck worked there. I'm like, what is this restaurant? And then my buddy's like, oh, this restaurant is Altier Epicure's favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
I was like, who's that?
Who the fuck is that?
Follow this guy. And I look him up, and you know this guy?
Bonjour?
Yeah,
of course. He's fucking ducking me, bro. I want you on the podcast, Bonjour. You understand? You son of a bitch. Every time I ask him, he's like, I'm away. He's like a fucking bird, bro.
He's hard to get.
He's literally everywhere.
Hard to get.
And
he travels so much.
And he's also worth a lot of money. You know what I mean? He's doing this shit for free.
He travels so much. He travels like crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. His story, too, because he was a lawyer who was just like, fuck being a lawyer. I'm going to take pictures of food. And I just saw somebody posted an old school pic of like Jeremy Fox in the kitchen and Bonjour is there, and I'm like, damn, this dude's been around for so long.
Done so much. It's such a cool story.
Yeah.
You gotta get him on.
Yeah. Let's go, Bonjour.
So I look up his blog, and I see this restaurant, and it looks very old school.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that my friend knew that connection right away. He's like, the American, that's Bonjour, or Altier Epicure's favorite restaurant. And it's like, and he loved that restaurant because it's a storied place. I think similar reason he loves the restaurant in Pilgrim.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, all these beer winners, they did beer dinners every year. And so all these chefs come and cook there all the time. And I was like, fuck, I get to meet people and cook with people. And I was just like, and I went down there and cooked for the job. And it's like, it's this beautiful ceiling, this wood like design on it, these huge windows, and it's like all the traditional like white tablecloths, cushy, and it's like super fine dining. But then it's like it needs a paint job, and it's this old red carpet. Like it's this neglected thing. It's 40 years old.
Yeah.
But I cook for him and I blow him away. And the sous chef was fucking on, like to help me with my tasting. And he's like loading up my trays, and he's super. And I was like, well, this guy's.
That's always fantastic.
This guy's good. So like you get that. I have a sous chef.
Yeah. I had that in a guy named Tom, who's a sous chef at the Charter Oak, and I'd just be like, "Why are you so good at like lining up my shit?" And he's like, "I'm the best number 2 there is." I'm like, "Tom, you're number 1 in my book, baby." You know.
Look at this.
Where are we at? Are we
good?
We're crushing it. What time is it?
10-1.
Oh, so, all right.
That'd be good. If we're still going, I can put this interview on ice.
No worries.
Because I'm enjoying talking to you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Dude, this is going to be a fucking great one. I can already tell.
This is comfortable setting. Like, I've been really nervous in interviews. Like, you go to this. Talk about your story. This is great. So I'm really torn because I'm like, this is kind of the mansion was an old spot, and fixing that, and we really turned that. Bruno was. It was modern, and it was relevant, and it was getting ridden up in Dallas, and it was like But it was so much. It's so much work to take a 20-year-old breakfast cook and try to cook better. All these like old places institutions are so hard. And I was like, I knew this place was it, and I was like, it's kind of the chairs in this car were super dated. But then I don't know. I cooked my ass off and I killed it. Like, I mean, I packed it all out of fucking the mansion, and like I think I told Bruno. I can't remember, but oh no, crazy story. I packed it out in New York because I was trying to get one of the California spots, one of the chefs of the Rosewoods properties, because they had some decent, cool restaurants.
Yeah.
They've got that one in Menlo Park. It's got a Michelin star. I forget what it's called.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's why we need Andrew Chang in these situations, because he'll be
Peter
like,
Rudolph was a chef.
I'm telling you, he's gonna be my the Joe Rogan podcast. Who the fuck is the guy on the computer?
But they let the chef go to Carlisle in New York.
Yeah.
And I'd done this project with the corporate food and beverage. It was all based out of Dallas. I'd done this project, and I kind of impressed them, and they knew I wanted to be promoted, and Bruno was like, you need to go, it's your time. So they sent me on task force. I stay in Carlisle for a month, and I jump in, and I'm in the kitchen at the Union Kitchen. It's horrible. The food at that, it's so bad. There's literally, like, over on the pantry station, there's a printer and 3 drawers, and it rings in all the fish station stuff that's over there. And
my God.
All the guy does is take a piece of fish out of his drawer and put it on a tray and walk it over to that guy, but you can't eliminate that job. Like, it was miserable. But my buddy is one of my best friends, who's my sous chef I brought in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
He was okay. Can you? That'll be like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're getting yourself in trouble, bro.
That would be alright.
I can pause this shit, man. Mm-hmm.
Let me see, where are we at?
We're at the mansion.
So my buddy's the corporate trainer for John George Group.
Yeah.
He just takes me everywhere. We eat everywhere in New York. I'm just enamored by it. And I fly out of there and go to the tasting room for the job.
Yeah.
So I weigh it out. I'm like, this guy's kind of old, but it's got to the store, and I get to cook with all these people. But I also get to develop my food in this amazing place. So I take the job and move to Kansas City.
Sweet.
And it was rad. I did it for 3.5 years. There was a hybrid tasting menu when I started, which I thought for that nice of a fine dining, I was like, it needs to be one tasting menu that has flow and has focus, and I didn't want to do smaller portions of a la carte dishes. And so I transitioned that. I think it really rustled it up. They had this lounge that put a bar menu up there, and they'd never done it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I met my wife, my partner here, and kind of how we decided to do this and this whole supper club concept.
Gotcha.
With the music.
But
it was wild. It was the first place I ever got to, like, people really cared about my food on that level. Like, it was never my name on anything before.
Yeah.
It was never, like, everything on the line. I was so creative and so ready.
You were finally ready after all those years of being like, I don't think I'm ready.
And it was a good, forgiving place to make mistakes. You can't say it. I mean, I think, and the food was good. It was always good. There was never bad cooking, but, like, I look back and it was things were immature in levels, and I was putting all my tricks onto every plate, you know. But I got to get all that out of my system. And of course, I'm working with this guy Bonjour. He's like this superstar, and he's at all these amazing restaurants, and I'm asking him for feedback.
Yeah.
And he's very
fucking honest, is what he is.
He's very honest, but he's also very cautious of that, because
I get it.
Friendship, and I don't want to. And I push it, but I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from that guy about honest cooking and restraint.
Yeah.
And not like just being visual or like taste and cooking and quality.
I mean, I would say that guy is like, restaurant critics, whatever. That guy is the number one eater in the world, I think. I mean, he goes literally fucking everywhere. Food writers stay in one city, you know. He is probably the best food journalist that I know and have ever heard of.
So he would help bring in chefs for these beer dinners there.
Exactly.
We did 2 dinners. We did another charity dinner where we brought like 6 chefs. So I just got to start meeting people. He would suggest people, and I'd be like, I brought Bruno out from Dallas.
Yeah.
Which is like my,
Your boy.
Bear was my first big mentor. Bruno was my second. Like really, like those were the 2 biggest. The guy who gave me the foundation, and the guy who gave me the refinement and the.
Like you had one guy build the slab, and then the other guy.
Well, and there's these other chefs in between, and these guys in Chicago. I wasn't creative to begin with. I had skills, and I could line cook, and I could butcher, and I could learn all that shit. But I had to go. The guys in Portland, Corday, I had to go work for all these creative people to learn to be creative, and now that's what people know me for. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
But it was the hardest thing to get.
But you worked for fucking years to get it, and
It's like it's like I get to bring Bruno, things like that. I was proud of my job, but then it's like Wondering is like, you want to bring Michael Tusk out to this one? Yes. I get to cook with it's like
hell yeah, Michael Tusk,
James Seabout, Justin Cogley, and all these powerhouses.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to add up to the. I think it was like 27 chefs I met through that 3 years. 27 or 30 chefs or something. Brooks Headley came out and did dessert. It was like, we had a fried apple pie. It was fucking amazing. I was like, there's this diner down here. I remember 3 a.m. Fucking all of us after dinner eating like 3 cheeseburgers at Murad. Getting a big old cup of chili and 2 more cheeseburgers to take back to this hotel room. Like, we know this diner's so good. It's my favorite smashed cheeseburger I've ever had anywhere. But it destroys you the next day for the dinner,
All right. And take one to go tomorrow for
all these guys drank all night, eat that food, and then they're all just like, but it's so much fun. I learned so much from so many of those chefs. And
yeah.
I was listening to your podcast with Costa, and you're talking about the 12 days and how positive that is for the team and for you.
Yeah, for everyone.
That was at the American, and getting to get to know Von Ring and do that. He influenced so much to me. I learned so much from all of this.
Being a chef is lonely. You know what I mean? Like when you're in there, it's like, you have your team, but at the end of the day, like you're their mentor. You're not their friend. You know what I mean? Like there's a line. But when 12 days comes, Costa gets to hang out with all of his friends. You know what I mean? And there's nothing better than like watching him interact with John Shields and having Bonjour there and just capturing all those memories. I mean, that was like, if they don't do that again, fucking take that shit over, bro.
Well, I want to do something here, and I want to do it for me, but I want to do it for my team.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he did it for. I was saying,
American, when they got and you see these, rarely would you have a chef who didn't care about the cooks. They were always chefs.
Yeah,
care about the kitchen and the team and the crew. And when you see all the chefs sitting at a table after the big dinner we did, and just kind of organically, and all the cooks are over there, and then you see. I'm going to fail on the name. Brian Baltaggio. You see him go, and he doesn't. James Seabout sitting there, and Justin Cogley, and 3 other powerhouses. Can't remember off the top of my head. And you see him look at the chef's table, walk over and sit with all the cooks. Pony up that's just like, that's what chefs do. And it's so cool. But for the cooks, it's so special when they have conversations with these guys.
Yeah.
They're asking about what they do here, and about this restaurant.
And just like you're telling this story, they will tell those stories forever. And
also,
that,
I cook for all these chefs.
Hey, fuck yeah.
How nerve-wracking is that? They all come in and eat dinner, and I cook for them, and then we do the dinner.
Yeah.
They're all cooking better.
That was,
at
dude.
That point. At that point, it's like, but
that was my first year at Charter Oak when we did the 12 days. That was like so stressful. They're like, all right, for 12 days, you're going to have the chef of the next day coming in to eat dinner. We hooked up a menu. It's like, fucking, I get all anxious. Because the pass at Charter Oak is like, boom, and then the hearth is over here. So I'm like, expedite, run around, grill the dates, put the prawns on, back to that, table 2.